Good but unlimited, that's an economy. Gave Lipinski a bad tracheotomy. Angry at God and I'm angry at Jill. She was driving the car. It's her fault we lost Bill!
Jim Carrey is definitely one of the funniest men Hollywood has ever seen.
Yes, thank you.
But what if it's just a mask of a depressed and exhausted person?
We all wear masks, metaphorically speaking.
What if Jim has been playing someone else his whole life?
Jim Carrey is a great character, and I was lucky to get the part.
What if his desire to make people laugh made the women he loved cry? Many times heartbroken, twice divorced, and once but forever devastated by accusations of killing his loved one. Be ready to meet Jim Carrey that has nothing in common with his bizarre film characters. We'll tell you how the 58-year-old ended up all alone. Keep watching the video and don't forget to subscribe to Rumour Juice YouTube channel to discover other exciting showbiz stories. Let's get back to the times when Jim just moved to Hollywood. It's never been a secret he briefly dated Linda Ronstadt in the early 80s, but not many know he was living with his parents at the time. Wait, but Jim and his parents are Canadians, aren't they?
Canada? Wow. Must have been cold.
Why would an aspiring actor in his 20s move to Hollywood with his parents? The thing is that Jim's family struggled financially for years. As a teenager, Carrey made ends meet by working as a janitor after school. Soon the situation got even worse. The Carreys became homeless and had to live in a Volkswagen van.
And I actually became homeless for quite some time. Of course, I grew up in Canada, so I thought we had just gone camping, you know.
Besides, Jim's mother got very sick at the time. In an attempt to help distract his family from hardships and to deal with them himself, young Carrey started making jokes and performing for his relatives. And it worked. In a candid interview with CBS back in 2014, Carrey revealed how he discovered his sense of humor. He said, "Depression. I had a sick mom, man. I wanted to make her feel better." So Carrey channeled his depression into stand-up comedy. Jim's father was very supportive and tried to help the young comedian by driving him to different gigs. When all of a sudden Jim got one in Hollywood, he invited his family to live with him. Okay, it's clear now why he wanted to stay together with his family even in Hollywood, unlike regular people of his age who prefer to run away from home as soon as possible. But what about his relationship with Linda Ronstadt? They met during one of Jim's performances at Los Angeles Comedy Store. Ronstadt asked Carrey whether he was open for her, and he replied, "No, but I'll go out with you if you want." And so they did. Ronstadt was in her mid-30s, while Jim was in his early 20s. She didn't mind Jim sharing an apartment with his parents. Also, she was okay with the fact that the aspiring actor could only pick her up in a rusty car. The two were in a relationship for about 8 months. According to Carrey, he was really infatuated with Ronstadt, but both of them knew it wasn't going to be a forever deal. Besides, Jim was very busy with his career at the time. Despite his increasing popularity as a stand-up comic, Carrey put an eye on the film and TV industry. Still, he kept performing at Comedy Store every now and then, and that's how he also met his wife, Melissa Rumour. Shortly after the marriage, the spouses welcomed their firstborn, Jane Erin Carrey. Melissa and Jim preferred to keep their relationship away from the public glare, but it didn't help to make it stronger. After 7 years of being together, they decided to split. Carrey appreciated Rumour for her immense support and trying to establish his career. Ironically, his career ended up being the main reason for their divorce, but Melissa says there were other reasons as well. She once called Jim an extremely depressive person. "I had to sit up counseling him until 4 or 5 in the morning on many, many nights." Poor Jim. You would think his depression that roots back to the actor's unpleasant youth would go away after his dreams of making a name in comedies came true. But it didn't happen.
Somehow I'm still not satisfied.
Instead, the Bruce Almighty star faced another challenge. The challenge of being a superstar. It didn't have a good impact on the actor's next marriage with his Dumb and Dumber co-actress Lauren Holly. Their relationship catapulted Holly to fame, but she wasn't ready for the consequences. According to Holly, their 1-year-long marriage was all about running away from Jim's fans and making sure they have privacy. Also, she wasn't ready to deal with the things that Jim apparently borrowed from his funny yet weird characters.
He would try to come up with characters and stuff for movies and stuff, so I went and I got him all this stuff and he could like play around. So he decided to use that and would like put on a full clown costume to go get the paper in the morning.
Holly filed for divorce a few months after they tied the knot. Rumors about their split swirled immediately. Some blamed Carrey's short temper. Others said it was the result of career competition between the exes. Still, the majority were sure that Holly had been stepping out with fellow actor Edward Burns, while her romance with Carrey was turning around his money.
So I would go and get a coffee and I could swear that the person giving me coffee was like, "Ooh, so sorry, and you're a gold digger."
Oh, was she a gold digger indeed? When asked if he ever worried that Holly was only attracted to his bank account, Carrey replied, "No, with Lauren, I know she'd be with me if I were on a stove. She's proven herself." He never commented on the reasons for their split. It might have been a hard blow for someone prone to depression.
When your heart is in love, you're floating, weightless. But when you lose that love, you have to re-enter the atmosphere. And it can get pretty rough.
Carrey's next romance was with Me, Myself, and Irene co-star Renee Zellweger. According to one of the movie creators, Carrey flipped for Renee immediately, but dating guys from work wasn't quite her style. Zellweger once told CNN, "I liked him a lot, but you're not going to the set for the love connection." Eventually the tides turned though. Renee and Jim couldn't stop gushing about their romance. Zellweger told Entertainment Weekly that their courtship was an unexpected but wonderful thing, while Carrey called his girlfriend absolutely a gem of a human being. Carrey also credited Renee with keeping him grounded. Allegedly, the actors even got engaged. However, just a year after taking their romance public, Zellweger and Carrey called things off. Zellweger's representative shared that they simply wanted different things. Rumors of a broken engagement were splashed across tabloids. Zellweger insisted those were just rumors. It was all made up, as if I would consider marriage after only 3 months. They were so sweet together, but Carrey's next relationship with actress Jenny McCarthy also melted our hearts. For 5 years, McCarthy and Carrey had one of the industry's most fun-loving romances. Once Carrey even hired a plane to write J Hearts J across the Los Angeles skyline. Ah, Jim, what a cinematic move. And his love for Jenny wasn't only about big gestures. McCarthy's first son, Evan, who was 7 at the time, had autism. In 2007, while talking about her struggle to accept her son's condition on Oprah, she stressed that Carrey was always there for him. He has been so wonderful in Evan's life. He has been through it all with me. He did fall in love with Evan, and he's so good with him. Such an attitude could only arise from a kind heart, and Jim definitely has one. Unfortunately, kind hearts hurt the most. Jim was still in emotional pain while being with Jenny. Moreover, his depression was cited as the main cause of the breakup. Little did he know the biggest tragedy was yet to come. All the actor's peaks and valleys turned out to be nothing compared to what happened after he called it quits with his non-celebrity girlfriend Catriona White. They had an on-and-off relationship for a couple of years, and a few days after yet another breakup, Catriona took her own life in an apparent drug overdose. In her suicide note, White mentioned that Carrey broke her down as a person. Jim was obviously devastated by such a development. Paying a tribute to White, he said, "I am shocked and deeply saddened by the passing of my sweet Catriona. She was a truly kind and delicate Irish flower, too sensitive for this soil, to whom loving and being loved was all that sparkled." Soon after he helped lay her to rest, serving as a pallbearer at her funeral, her family filed suit against Carrey and accused him of being responsible for her death. It later emerged that even though Catriona was seeing Jim, she was actually married to another man, Mark Burton. Carrey's lawyer claimed the marriage was only for a green card and proved it with the picture of Miss White kissing Jim a month after marrying Mark. In 2016, Burton also filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Carrey. He insisted that Carrey used his, quote, immense wealth and celebrity status to illegally obtain prescription drugs involved in her death. "I will not tolerate this heartless attempt to exploit me or the woman I loved. Kat's troubles were born long before I met her, and sadly her tragic end was beyond anyone's control." Both lawsuits against Carrey were ultimately dismissed in early 2018, but the troubling personal details that were revealed in the proceedings didn't have a positive impact on Jim's reputation. Some claim the dark story of Catriona's death was the main reason why Jim took a break from acting, but Jim didn't confirm that claim in his interview with The Hollywood Reporter. "I just didn't want to be in the business anymore. I didn't like what was happening, the corporations taking over and all that." Besides, Jim was going through something he called an evolution of ego that apparently involved healing through art.
Suddenly, 6 years ago, at a time when I was trying to heal a broken heart, I decided, well, maybe I'll paint.
It turned out in 2017 that Jim dedicated most of his time in the preceding years to painting. Fans were surprised when he presented an exhibition of his artwork in Las Vegas.
I found myself looking around at one point in a really bleak winter in New York, and it was just so depressing, and I think I needed color.
Jim's newfound vocation was a cure for his soul. It helped to release his pain in a way, but the actor's fans still had some reasons to worry about his well-being.
There's no meaning to any of this, so...
It wasn't the last time Carrey dropped such a worrisome comment.
How's life? Everything good?
You know, it's so beautiful. It really is, especially when I'm absent from it.
A year later, he said in public, "There's a character that's been playing me my whole life. In fact, there is no me." The actor also revealed that he liked keeping himself isolated. "I spend a lot of time by myself, but I like being by myself, so it's okay. That might be strange to some people, but I enjoy it, and I date. In January 2019, Jim appeared on the red carpet with the 35-year-old actress Ginger Gongaza. They soon made their relationship official, but unfortunately it didn't last long. The two split in October 2019. So the 58-year-old is single now? That's right. But why? Is it because of the depression that followed the funny man for decades and affected all of his relationships in a way? Maybe. Carrey confessed that despite all the expectations, his dream of achieving fame, success, and wealth didn't make him any happier.
Standing there with everything anybody else had ever dreamed about having and be unhappy.
He said he's been through evolution of his ego, and we do hope it has helped him reach internal peace.
People still think, well, he's going through, you can tell he's depressed. It's not. I have no depression in my life whatsoever. Literally none. I have sadness and joy and elation and satisfaction. And
What if Jim Carrey was reborn and he finally feels good? What if he's at the beginning of his new history now, not as the funniest man in Hollywood, but just as a human being? Besides, it's never too late to love and be loved, and we sincerely believe that Jim could soon meet someone who will add more colors to his new history. Let's just hope that these colors will only be bright.